Welcome to our V Cert Level 1-2 Technical Award Bitesize Introduction for the subject area of Child Development and Care in Early Years. This webinar will guide you through the structure of the qualification, the examined and non-exam assessments, and will provide an overview of the quality assurance process. There will also be a summary of the teaching and learning materials and other resources that we have available to support your delivery. Lastly, it will provide details of the provider development team if further support is required or if you have any other questions. Firstly, I will provide an overview of the qualification. The guided learning hours are 138, and this includes 120 hours for delivery, 14 hours for the NEA, plus 2 hours preparation and research time, and an hour and 30 minutes for the external assessment. The total qualification time is 152 hours, and this includes homework that you might set and/or independent learning. The NEA has a 50% weighting, and the EA has a 50% weighting. The content assessed in both the NEA and the EA will be sampled from across the full breadth of the qualification. The overall qualification grades are a level 1 pass up to a distinction, and for a level 2, a pass up to a distinction star. This slide shows a typical 2-year delivery model. This is only a suggestion, and it is there to help illustrate the new structure so that you can visualize how it's going to work for you. It essentially follows a very similar structure to that of a GCSE, in that the first year is for delivery where there are no summative assessments, and the second year is the assessment year. It has been designed this way to allow the first year of delivery to be focused entirely on teaching the content of the qualification. This really allows you to focus on ensuring that the learners are building up knowledge and skills and gives you as much time as possible to teach the qualification content so that your learners are ready for their assessments. All technical awards now have a terminal assessment rule as stipulated by Ofqual and the DFE. This means that the external examinations must be taken at the end of the qualification after the non-exam assessment, i.e. the synoptic project, has been completed. We will be releasing the NEA briefs on the 1st of September each year, and it can also be administered from September 2 if all the content has been taught. We think that all content could have been comfortably delivered by December, ready to start the NEA in January, but some schools we know may get through everything sooner. The final marks will need to be submitted to the portal by the 30th of April each year, in which then the learner evidence will be moderated. It can be delivered over 3 years, as some centres might want to start delivering it in year 9, although we do recommend a 2-year delivery model so that it coincides with GCSEs. There is one unit that contains 9 content areas for child development and care in early years, and the specification includes the indicative content and teaching guidance that will help support your delivery. Formative assessment can help you track your learners' progress in their first year of studying this qualification. Keeping a record of each formative assessment result will allow you to monitor your learners' ongoing progress, predict a final grade, and identify if any further interventions are required. There are various sources of data for performance indicators, such as end-of-topic tests, discussions with learners to assess their depth and breadth of knowledge of the subject content, homework, and independent study tasks. Also, engagement with practical activities and outcomes of practical tasks, performance at Key Stage 3, teacher observation during practical tasks using the NEA practical assessment criteria. There are also many resources, such as learning roundups in the teaching materials, sample assessment materials, and prepare to teach activities that are available on our website to further support your formative assessment. Other performance indicators can include the mark schemes and mark ranges, and it is worth noting that the range of marks in the mark scheme could also be a performance indicator. So, for example, as a guide, 7 to 12 marks could be a distinction or a strong level 2 merit. 4 to 6 marks would be a merit to a strong level 2 pass, and 0 to 3 marks would be in the level 1 range. Another useful way to track your learners' progress is to use the overall grading descriptors in the specification. In our Prepare to Teach session, we do go into a little bit more detail about formative assessment, but on the screen now you can see a range of methods. Just take a few moments to consider which ones do you use? Do you use a wide range of activities? Do your learners get assessment fatigue? And thinking more broadly, could you develop your practice to make things easier for you or better for your learners? Now, I know that I have my favourite methods as a teacher, but that I also need to be mindful that all learners are different and respond differently. So making things fun, diversifying the approaches, and reviewing the impact and success of my approach is really important.
There will now be more detailed about the non-exam assessment, including the sample material that is also available. The NEA is a practical project that your learners undertake under controlled and supervised conditions. It has a set number of tasks that are to be completed in 14 hours plus the 2 hours preparation and research time. The NEA is externally set by NCFE and there will only be one attempt at the NEA per session, so there is no resubmission opportunity. NCFE recognises that reasonable adjustments may be required for assessments, and information is available on our access arrangements and reasonable adjustments policy and our special consideration policy on our website. For child development and care in early years, the NEA is 50% of the technical award and has a total of 92 marks. A different NEA brief will be released every September, and it will target the assessment objectives AO1, AO2, AO3, AO4, and AO5. This slide shows a summary of the NEA tasks for the child development and care in early years, including the marks to be awarded for each section. The key point to note here is that when you are considering the learner journey and the sequence in the curriculum, the content areas need to be continually linked to the NEA and tasks. It is also worth considering how your learner journey also linked to the external assessment too. Subject-specific tutor guidance has been produced to support the delivery of the Level 1-2 technical awards for both the EA and the NEA. It is not intended to replace the specification documents, but should be used in conjunction with them to support the successful delivery and completion of the qualifications and assessments. You'll find this document in the support materials section of the qualification page on our website. The NEA will be electronically available on the 1st of September in the year of certification, and the final NEA marks are to be submitted to the portal by the 30th of April. All teaching must be complete prior to accessing the assessment, and the learners must be booked onto the NEA associated with the year of completion. Prior to commencing the formal set hours for the NEA time, learners should be allocated 2 hours of preparation and research time. During this time, learners may have access to the project brief, but may not have access to the NEA tasks. This 2-hour time period is entirely open book where learners can access their teaching and learning materials, textbook, internet, and other published materials. From this, they should develop a research support pack which can be used as their source of information when completing the NEA. This is the only support material that is permitted during the completion of the NEA tasks, unless otherwise stated within each task instructions, and must be submitted to the tutor at the end of each session and kept secure. The material developed in the planning, preparation, and research time does not have to be submitted as assessment evidence. The research pack should be no more than 4 sides of A4 in font size 12, and this can be handwritten or electronic. Some tasks within the NA may be permitted to use the internet access to support the completion of the tasks. Learners will require to submit a copy of their internet browsing history to ensure that the controls around the internet use are adhered to. Where the NEA allows the research requiring the use of the internet, learners must reference the source in their work. Learners must cite sources of information within their NEA. There is a useful table in Section 8 that will show you if the use of the internet is permitted and if internet browsing history is required. There is also specific guidance for each task within the NEA. This inclusion The inclusion of these tasks is to illustrate the proposed structure and timings, required resources, in addition to the pack development in the preparation and research time, and any additional requirements around delivery or controls. Within the regulations for the conduct of the NEA section, instructions are provided on the correct administration of the NEA. NEA tasks must be issued one at a time and in the correct sequence to appropriately meet the requirements of the task in terms of resources and organization of the learning environment. All learners should start each task at the same time to prompt fairness and prevent unfair learner advantage and aid center manageability. Learners can rework their evidence at any point during the supervised session, but supervisors may not give any feedback to a learner on how a task or area can be improved. Learners' work must not be assessed, marked, or internally quality assured during supervised sessions. Learners will have one opportunity to sit the NEA each session. Therefore, if a learner does not achieve, they will need to be re-registered to sit the NEA and the EA for the next series. Centres will be provided with training opportunities on how to administer and assess the NEA. They will provide valuable information to help you understand our mark schemes, supporting you to run your own standardization session prior to the assessment window opening. These events are a great opportunity to expand your knowledge and understanding of the V Cert Technical Awards and are suitable for assessors and IQAs delivering on these qualifications. Attendance to these sessions will also be checked as part of your annual monitoring review, AMR. The V Cert administration training can be found on our website on the Preparing for Moderation page. It consists of a series of videos supporting you through the administrative requirements associated with moderation, including accessing and uploading assessment materials and submitting marks. The Prepare to Assess training will help develop your understanding of the grading criteria when assessing your learners' responses to the internally assessed units, and it will provide valuable information to help you understand our mark scheme. From September 2024, there will be internal standardization training made available to you. This continuous professional development package is designed to bring your teams together to align assessment decisions and expectations for the externally moderation components of the V Cert qualification. There are sample assessment materials available for the NEA, and these are for you to use as practice projects, and you can fit these in whenever works best for you, be that of the summer year 10, January year 11, whenever you feel it would be the most beneficial for your learners. There is also a sample mark scheme. The sample assessment materials, including mark scheme, will be available for you to access on the NCFE website on the V Cert page. NEA example responses are available to download in the assessment materials section of the qualification page on our website. They will not be differentiated by level for the Model 5, as these are not determined until the marks are combined for the EA and the NEA and the overall marks are added together. And there will be a top Band 4 and a Band 2 level response for each qualification in the exemplar NEAs. The example on the slide is a Band 2 response. And this is a Band 4 NEA response example.
There will be now more detail about the examined assessment, including the sample assessment materials that we have available. To summarise, the external assessment is 50% of the technical award for child development and care in early years. It is a written examination that's externally set by NCFE, and learners have 1 hour and 30 minutes to complete it, and it's graded out of 80 marks. There is a mixture of multiple choice, short answer and extended response questions, and it targets assessment objectives AO1, AO2 and AO3. The examination date is May-June every year. There is only one attempt at the exam, and booking for the exam is upon registration. Please do refer to the external assessment timetable on our website for confirmation of the exact external assessment dates, which will be published a year in advance of the actual external assessment. Surpass is our online assessment system that allows centres to deliver external assessments securely on screen. The technical requirements that must be met to run the online assessment system are outlined in our technical specification document. You need to complete the registration form and a member of the relevant team will contact you. And once you're approved, there are various support guides aimed at supporting the members of staff that are involved with the different stages of the assessment process. So for more information, please do visit our website using the details on this slide. There are three main types of questions on the external assessment, and where possible, they have been set within context of the subject with real-world case studies. The first type of question is multiple choice, and these are usually worth 1 mark. Multiple choice questions cover assessment objective 1. The second type of question is short answer, and these are usually worth around 2 to 4 marks. And the third type of question is extended response questions, and these are usually worth 6 marks or more. To support the effective teaching and learning, the table in the tutor guidance document provides centres with the command word taxonomy used for the external assessment. It illustrates the range of command words, associated assessment objectives, and their intended use. And it's also intended to support centres when creating assessment tools. Please note, though, that these cover the full range of the Level 1-2 technical award qualifications, and some may be more appropriate for certain subject areas. And again, you'll find this document in the support materials section of the qualification page on our website. There are also sample assessment materials available for the external assessment, and again, these are for you to use as mocks, and you can fit these in whenever it works best for you. The mark scheme is also available, and the sample assessment materials, including the mark schemes, are available for you to access on the NCFE website on the subject-specific V Cert page.
The next few slides will provide a brief overview of the quality assurance process and then provide some information in relation to moderation. The assessors will assess and mark all learner evidence for the NEA in line with the mark schemes provided by NCFE. The assessors will also complete the learner feedback form, which is available in your assessment pack, and this will be released with the NEA brief on the 1st of September. As the NEA is moderated, the centre's IQA efforts need to be a focus on upfront standardization. Centres need to apply their own IQA policy or process based on the outcome of standardization activities they complete to satisfy their own internal quality assurance. Standardization will ensure assessors' judgments are in line with the qualification specification and grading criteria. In line with the JCQ guidance, centres should inform learners of the centre assessed marks before marks are submitted to NCFE to allow for internal centre appeals. Centres should make it clear to learners that any centre assessed marks are subject to change through the moderation process. Once the centre has submitted the marks to the portal, learners will be selected for sampling and the evidence will be reviewed by a moderator. Moderation will take place remotely and the feedback will be provided on results day in a final moderation report accessed on the portal. All centres with active registrations will have an annual monitoring review to review your policies and procedures. Your quality reviewer will contact you to suggest a date and a time to conduct the AMR. No learner portfolios will be sampled during this review, and the quality reviewer will not provide any subject-specific guidance. For further information and support, visit our AMR page on our website and view the user guide to the annual monitoring report. If you have any queries about quality assurance, please contact the external quality assurance team. You will be asked to submit marks for each learner on the portal, and we will use these marks to select learners to be sampled based on the JCQ sampling strategy. A sample will be requested based on stage 3, and you will be able to view the learners selected for sampling on the portal. Learners selected for sample will be visible on the portal the day after the window closes. Centres will be required to review the sampling plan on the portal and upload their learner evidence for sampled learners within 48 hours. Guidance on how to do this can be found in the portal user guide. During moderation, the moderator will assess the sample. The following moderation process and outcome of our quality checks, one of the following 3 marks will be applied to your cohort. The provider mark has been accepted, the regress mark has been accepted, the moderator mark has been accepted. You will receive a moderation report to explain the outcome of the moderation activity, along with the areas performed well and areas for development. For further information and guidance, please do refer to the Preparing for Moderation review on our website. The next slide will give you details of the resources and support that will be available to you in your centres. Visit ncfe.org.uk to find everything you need to know about onboarding, quality assurance, using the portal, moderation and assessment, certificates, training events, forms, support visits and much more. You'll also find a dedicated area to support the delivery of essential digital skills, functional skills, T-levels as well as V Certs, including curriculum support and assessment resources. If you're involved in the teaching assessment and quality assurance, these pages will be the most useful. The V Cert page, delivery support, assessment support, customer and learner support, and preparing for quality assurance. On our NCFE website within the V Cert page, you'll find the information about why choose V Certs and the 14 to 16 schools brochure that contains information about Key Stage 4 vocational education and how to learn more about our V Cert qualifications. They could also be used as option evenings to help learners make informed decisions about which qualifications to take, what the progression opportunities are, and the career prospects. You will also find the link to each subject-specific page that contains information such as the specification, sample assessment materials, and teaching materials. We also have our Parent Supporter and Pupil V Cert Information Hub, where the resources are aimed at helping parents and learners make informed decisions around V Certs, including a parent guide, what learners think about V Cert, and subject guides. On both pages, you can use the Get in Touch function where you can request more information on the subjects you're interested in. There is also an opportunity to tick the marketing communication box to receive updates on our qualifications, events, newsletters to you via email or phone or through social media channels. You can use our Search Our Qualification function by adding your subject area or qualification code, or you can select V Certs in the Features box. Always ensure you have the correct page by checking the qualification accreditation number. This is the page for the child development and care in the early years. If you scroll down, you will see some brief information about the qualification, including the career opportunities and performance table details. And if you scroll further down, you will see the support materials tab, where you'll find the qualification specification, the synoptic connections document, and the tutor guidance document. In the assessment materials tab, you'll find the sample assessment materials that are available for the NEA and the EA. And lastly, the teaching materials will be available to download here too. If you don't have a login, it would be usually your exam officer who can help, and you can also refer to the portal user guide on our website for further support. There are classroom packs containing ready-to-go teaching and learning materials with everything you need to deliver the V Cert effectively. The classroom packs will be digital and editable format and will be free to download. There will be schemes of work which completely outline entire units of works based on 1-hour lessons for each content area. You will have complete PowerPoint presentations covering the teaching content from the specification and includes teaching activities that could be used with your learners. There will be comprehensive workbooks to complete the scheme of work, which will contain classroom-based activities and learner roundups to recap and assess learning, as well as independent study tasks that can be used as homework or flipped learning opportunities, whatever you decide. As with all these resources, it is best to use them and adjust them to suit your learners. Using actual assessment materials is a good way to make revision effective. And as we've already mentioned, there is also sample assessment materials that are available for the EA and the NEA for you to access on the website. On our website, you'll find everything you need to support you with assessment. In the Access Arrangements and the Reasonable Adjustments section, you will find the information about paper modifications and the ways that fair assessment can be achieved and the associated policies. In Special Considerations, you'll find the Special Considerations policy, the definition timescales, and how to submit a request for external and internal assessment. Before booking an external assessment, please refer to external assessment timetable for booking cutoff dates, assessment dates, and times and results release dates. For our V Cert qualifications, you are required to make bookings for the external assessment at the time of registration. You will be prompted to select an external assessment date before completing the registration in the portal. For the external assessment, there is a document called the Regulations for Conduct for External Assessments. For the internal and non-exam assessment, there is a tutor guidance document which includes details about administering each NEA task and the NEA regulations. There will also be qualification specification instructions for delivery document or QSID, and this gives specific information for the different qualifications. For example, if assessment needs to be invigilated or supervised.
There is a V Cert frequently asked questions section on our website where you can use the categories to find the relevant answers to your questions. If you have a question that isn't covered, you can always use our live chat feature or contact the customer support team using the details on the slide that will follow shortly. On the V Cert delivery support page, you'll see that we offer a range of delivery support events for V Cert, such as parent-to-teacher events and standardisation events. There is also a V Cert playlist on our YouTube channel, and there are numerous webinars, CPD sessions, and training events which you can access on demand. Other support that is available includes our external assessment quality assurance team, who can be contacted in relation to anything about quality assurance. And our wonderful customer support team, who can help support you with first-line inquiries, registrations, queries, and bookings on the portal. NCFE do endorse HODA, and there is a second edition learner textbook and Boost ebook along with a revision guide that are both available to order now. For more information, please do visit their website or contact them at vocational@hodaeducation.co.uk. NCFE also endorse iAchieve, and iAchieve have produced complete and online resource packages that support these technical qualifications. And again, for more information, do visit their website at iachieve.org.uk. The provider development team supports staff to ensure that you're prepared to teach the qualification and are clear on the requirements for the delivery and assessment of the qualification. We can provide tailored interventions to meet individual needs of the centre, as well as offering a range of other services such as monthly webinars, training sessions and workshops, as well as consultations if required. If you have any other questions or require further support, you can contact us directly at provider.development@ncfe.org.uk, and your question or query will be directed to a subject specialist within the team, or you can request a support call via our website. That is the end of our webinar, and we hope that you found it useful. If you would like to help us make any future improvements and/or changes to the service and support that we provide, please do let us know at provider.development@ncfe.org.uk. Thanks for listening, and on behalf of everyone here at NCFE, we wish you a continued successful year.